Coach, just first reflecting on the game in Regina last night. The season is where it's at this point, but what do you want to see from your group in the last week here? The results on the scoreboard don't matter in the standings, but what are some important things you want to see from your group to wrap up the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, I think just our execution last night was obviously a bit frustrating when you go back and watch the game, just how sloppy it is. I mean, now we were in a tough position. You lose three regular defensemen, bring up a call-up. I know Potter's played with us before, but you bring him up day of game. Rooksy has to play the back end. You have young guys playing in spots they wouldn't. So, for the young guys that played, I thought they did a decent job of kind of jumping into the fire. Obviously, Regina's wanted to respond after a tough weekend. So, I thought there obviously were moments where we had some good scoring chances. We didn't finish, and that's kind of been our season, it feels like, at times when our top six, they get some looks, but they don't score, then, we have a tough time winning games, and that's how it's been lately. So, right now our focus is to get healthy and then just execute our systems and how we want to play here going forward into the weekend. But, the most important thing is going to be health. So I don't know what the lineups are going to look like, if we'll have everybody, or might be a mixed match. We have some young guys coming in here to help get us through. So, health is the most important thing going into the playoffs. And then, we just want to make sure that we're playing. The reality is we got into the playoffs, and that was a goal of ours. So you have to kind of flush everything else of the opportunity to move up in the standings. We are where we are, so you kind of have to reset and now start preparing for the playoffs and kind of change your mindset a little bit as well.
Yeah, as you said, in the end, you are in the playoffs, and it's only the second time this team has been in the postseason since 2018. So, what does it mean to get there, and what's the mentality heading into it?
Yeah, obviously, for the guys that were here 2 years ago and losing to Medicine Hat on the last game of the year, I think we're pretty happy to. We would have liked to punch our own tickets a week ago, but pretty happy that with the points that we were able to get throughout the season, that someone else was able to finish it off, and we were able to get in early with games left. So I think that's the important thing, and the guys are excited to get back into to the playoffs, and it's obviously a fun atmosphere to be. Whoever we're going to play is going to be a tough matchup, but I think our group believes in ourselves, and we have enough skill and veterans in our lineup that we think that we have a chance with whoever we play against.
There were times this season you guys were as high as second in the conference.
Yeah.
You've beaten every team that's there. And while it's been an up and down last 6 weeks, couple months, where does this group have to be at that level you've been at before and to compete with those teams once you get to playoff time?
Yeah, I guess that's been the frustration part, is just the inconsistency, because we have shown really good flashes and really good moments of, where we think, we can get back up, we can get in, and just some of the games that we lost and how we've lost them has been obviously disappointing with the points that we gave up, and we think that we should have been in more of the mix of trying to fight for the East. But you just have to be realistic with yourselves. It is what it is, and again, just kind of reset the mindset and prepare for whoever you're going to play. It's going to be a tough matchup, and for us, we got to get into the inside a little bit more, and that's something that we'll focus on next week with whoever we play. Calgary, Medicine Hat, those teams do a real good job defending the middle. So when we're getting to the inside and hard on pucks and getting some shots quantity up, we're a better team. So something that we have to focus on, just some execution.
I know you haven't, you mentioned you don't know what the lineup's going to look like, but we have seen Jay Nolescu's here again. Nolan Pilsner was here. I know he's not going to be sticking around, but is there an opportunity that we might see some debuts this weekend, just with how things are set and playing Moose Jaw?
Yeah, obviously, I think some of those guys are definitely most likely going to get into the lineup. Obviously, health is going to be important, and just having some conversations this morning, it's not worth, if guys have some nagging injuries, we're not going to play them in this weekend. We are where we are. So the most important thing is health going into game one of the playoffs, and I would expect some of those young guys to play.
Preparing for playoffs, we talked about it'll be a tough matchup, but again, there's been different stages of the season where you've been right where they are in the standings.
Mm-hmm.
how do you prepare yourself mentally and get to a place where this group has been before, so you're not going into the playoff feeling like the underdog or feeling like a mismatch, because we've seen at different stages that you've been able to be right on par with those teams.
Yeah, I think that's why our group still has some confidence, and whoever we play in the first round is we've had some success against those teams, and you just have to go back and see where we expose them and how we had success. And I think that's the nice thing about a veteran group is they understand what our game looks like when we're having success. Obviously, it's been frustrating trying to find that consistently, but they do have a good feel. And for the most part this season, when we've had big game in Red Deer, Edmonton in the 3-3, like the guys have shown up. So I expect them to. We do have to reset a little bit. Obviously, it's disappointing with the result last night and not being able to move up. So we'll have a little reset here today and kind of get back to work tomorrow, and then do some different things next week to kind of get ourselves ready for playoffs.
Well, there's so much parity in the East this year, and there's not one or two or three teams that have run away with things. So 8th or 5th or 3rd or whatever, you go into the playoffs thinking like this is as tightly packed as this conference has been in recent years, and it's kind of anyone's game.
Yeah, I agree. I think just the team that gets hot at the right time is going to win. I think obviously the top teams have done a good job of staying consistent is the biggest thing. You look at the other teams, it's just they probably talking about the same thing, just a little bit of lack of consistency in their schedule where they drop some games. But yeah, I mean, I think again, it's going to be a real tight series. If you're telling me to pick winners of every series, it's going to be a tough thing to do. So I think it's going to be a real competitive playoffs, and I think everyone does have that belief, 1 through 8, that if they get hot, if they can play well at the right time, that they have a chance to win.
You got Peyton Kettles back in the lineup last night against Regina, and he's played some power play time, and whether he's been at the point, but I just look at the sneaky goals he's actually scored lately. How much does that add to his draft stock? And just, again, how good he was with no Mayo and no Brzezinski, and basically, I don't know what his time vice was last night, but he's done some pretty special things in the back half of the year.
Yeah, he played 28 minutes last night for coming off not playing in 3 games and then just jump in the lineup with obviously the injuries that we had. I thought it was one of his best games that I've seen him play. Just I feel that he has a lot of confidence with the puck and his ability to evade the first forechecker, and that's his greatest asset is his ability to move pucks, to break pucks out, and that's what's going to get him drafted, and that's what he's going to be at the next level. So yeah, something that Franks has talked about, just the power play, and we've thought that at times we haven't had a good enough net presence, and Peyton's someone that was tried it out in the second unit, and he's willing to do it, and sometimes that's what you need, a guy that's willing to be there and stand there and get into those dirty areas, and he's done a good job of just taking pucks hard to the net, and that's a part of our game where we have to be good at. Sometimes you just have to simplify and try and get to the inside, be in his eyes, be physical in those areas, and that's how his game is, and he's willing to play. So I think that's the reason for success, and he's playing well at the right time.
Last one for me, it was game number 100 for you last night, coaching. It's been quite the 2 years for you in Swift Current, but maybe take us through your journey a little bit here. Just one of the youngest coaches in the Western League. I think actually you are the youngest coach in the league, and just 100 games later, what's Terrence McEwen look back on as a head coach of the Broncos?
Yeah, obviously it was a great opportunity and moment to come back here, and somewhere where I have a lot of history, and family has a lot of history coming back into this building. So obviously, yeah, it's real special. I enjoy coming to the rink every day. I enjoy this community. I enjoy working with these players, and want to do nothing but create a competitive environment, competitive culture for this city. I think, when the team's good, we have the best fans, one of the best buildings in the league. So that's my focus every day, and I've really enjoyed being here and want to continue building that and just continue to help the team win.
Just a quick thought on the you haven't been healthy on the blue line for a long time. Early in the year, your young guys had to play a lot. You've added some veterans. If you're able to get healthy for playoffs, just based on where everyone's had to play and all the experiences they've had to have, how confident are you now that these players have had to move up when they're in the right place they should be in the lineup? It should really put you in a strong position on the back end.
Yeah, I think that's always a positive. at this time of year, some guys just have to step into opportunities that, they weren't expecting and play in some important minutes. And I think it is important because at some point in the playoffs, you're going to have an injury and a guy go down and someone's going to have to step up. So they're comfortable in playing some of those minutes and important minutes. And I've been happy. We've been happy with our young guys. I think obviously anytime you can have, Bursey and Mayo, they've been such important pieces just to our defending. And I think that's where we get into trouble at times, is just defending and the physicality down low with some of our young players. But for the most part, I've been happy with their progression and how they played. And I think the biggest thing is just confidence. When they get confidence and playing those minutes and moving pucks, when you don't play as much or you're in the lineup, it's hard to find that confidence. So it'll be important at this time of year for them to get in, to play, to feel comfortable. So if they do get put in those spots in the playoffs, that they have something to look back on where they play well.